For me, adversity is far from being a roadblock. It's actually a stepping stone to greatness. This is my origin story, my complicated relationship with adversity, the invaluable lessons it has taught me, and how I became the lemonade alchemist. Now, the next statement I'm about to say is probably one of the biggest cliches out there, but that doesn't mean it isn't true. Life's challenges are like a bag of lemons. It's up to us to squeeze out the sweetness of opportunity. A lot of people look at lemons as sour, but lemons actually have a lot of sweet benefits. Lemons are great sources of vitamin C, antioxidants, and skin and digestive health. Like I said, it's up to us to find the sweetness that lies within. I've always played the role of the lemonade alchemist, turning the tartest lemons into unexpected concoctions, leaving everyone wondering, how did I manage to make the impossible taste so sweet? Adversity is an inevitable part of life. It arrives unannounced, tests our mettle, and leaves us with a choice: to crumble under its pressure or to rise above it. I had my taste of some very bitter lemons at the ripe age of 2 years old. I suffered a stroke. Now, the stroke affected my fine and gross motor skills. The doctors delivered a daunting prognosis to my mom and family that I would never be able to ride a bicycle, I would never be able to swim, and that I would always talk with a lisp. I would never be able to do normal kid activities. Although I was 2 and had a very limited understanding of what was happening, one thing was clear. I was a fighter. For the next 8 years, I committed myself to physical, speech, and occupational therapy, defying the odds every step of the way. In the 6th grade, I joined the swim team, even though I didn't know how to swim. And you're probably wondering, Zoe, why did you join the swim team if you didn't know how to swim? See, swimming was something they said I was never going to be able to do. So, of course, I was determined to do it. That year, I earned my spot on the team and received the Coach's Award for all my hard work and determination. At the age of 9 years old, I took the stage for my very first TEDx talk. Yeah, this isn't my first rodeo. 9-year-old Zoe was naive and strong and sassy and quirky. 17-year-old Zoe, well, yeah, she's still all of those things, but she has gained a better sense of this beautifully messy world that we live in. I attend a predominantly white school, one that I have been at since the age of 3 years old. When I first got there were only like 6 Black kids enrolled in the lower school. I was always the only girl in my class that looked like me, the only girl with dark chocolate skin, the only girl with a big puffy afro. When I was 5 years old, I was bullied because of the color of my skin and the texture of my hair. I was told that my skin was dark and ugly, and that my hair was puffy and messy. These words weighed heavily on 5-year-old Zoe. I didn't understand. Why was my skin worthy of ridicule? Why was it deemed so inferior? This made me feel so uncomfortable in my own skin. Although this was traumatic, this did not break me. Like my mom always says, you will bend, but I promise you, you will not break. This adversity became the catalyst that changed the trajectory of my entire life, thus beginning the journey of Zoe Stalls. I started Zoe Stalls when I was 5 years old with a singular mission: to ensure that every little Black girl that looked like me loved the skin that they were in. What started as an annual doll giveaway and collection of 150 dolls has grown so much more. Over the course of the last 12 years, I've given out over 60,000 dolls to girls in 10 different countries on 3 different continents. I've positively impacted the lives of over 20,000 girls globally. I've played a central role in raising awareness about colorism, both domestically and internationally. Furthermore, I've been a staunch advocate for gender equity and equality, championing these issues at the United Nations, within the local government, and at the state level. My efforts have expanded Zoe's Dolls to include 6 empowering programs to let girls know they are beautiful just the way they are. I have 3 chapters of Zoe's Dolls in 3 different states, as well as 2 high school chapters. I'm even coming out with my very own podcast that's coming out this July entitled POV with Zoe and Friends. Zoe's Dolls has grown so much bigger than I've ever imagined. This work is my life's passion. Zoe's Dolls has blossomed like an ever-evolving plant, its roots transcending the boundaries of race, religion, and gender. As Zoe's Dolls grew, I also grew. I found my purpose and my true strength. However, the story does not quite end here. Just when I thought, okay, I've done it. I've made real change. I've made real impact. I did it. I did it. I did it. Right? Oh no. What is this? Another lemon dropping. There are a lot of people that believe the work that I'm doing of empowering Black girls is important and necessary. For every one person that believes that, there are 2 more people that believe the work I'm doing is not important or necessary. Empowering Black girls is a downright threat to some people. Empowering Black girls means one day they will be empowered Black women. Let's be clear. Black women are seen as a homogeneous group. We continue to be victims of racial oppression, sex discrimination, and class stratification. According to research published in the APA Journal, July of 2020, Black women are often discounted from social justice movements. The data show that Black women are less likely to be considered with the concept of a typical woman and are more likely to be compared to Black men than to white women. This has led to anti-racist and feminist movements failing to advocate for the rights of Black women. Dr. Stuart Coles says that Black women are often ignored in conversations about racism and sexism, even though they face both forms of these types of discrimination simultaneously. An opinion piece in the February 22 edition of the Harvard Crimson by writer Ebony Smith says that society thinks Black girls are ugly. Okay. All of this beautiful melanin skin, and society still thinks we're ugly? I didn't need any of this research or papers or any of that. I have firsthand experience. I have moms, aunts, grandmothers, family members that can all attest to what it's like being encapsulated in this Hershey chocolate skin. We are invisible, yet deemed as a threat. When we are passionate and advocate for ourselves, we are labeled as angry, aggressive, combative, and emotional. We are often discounted and ignored. Black women's opinions simply do not matter to society. We have cultivated a society where we hurt and prey on Black women, and that is not okay. Black women continue to be victims of this, and that is the biggest problem of all. According to research from the National Women's Law Center, Black girls are 4 times more likely to be suspended from school compared to their white counterparts who displayed similar behavior. We have significant healthcare disparities, less access to fresh food, and our mental health needs are 4 times more likely to be overlooked compared to our white counterparts. I know. I've said a lot of heavy information that I'm sure makes you very uncomfortable, that is hard to hear. But have no fear. I do have a solution. So you're probably wondering, what's next? What are you going to do? How can we help? So what's next for Zoe Stalls? Simply everything. I plan to build an army of little black girl lemonade alchemists. I plan to launch the Zoe Stalls Lemonade Toolkit. The Zoe Stalls Lemonade Toolkit will match little black girls with resources and mentorships to flesh out their advocacy missions so they can turn their adversity into advocacy. No black girl would go into this world unprepared on how to advocate for themselves, how to love themselves, how to be their most authentic self. Although I don't quite have all the ingredients for this next batch of lemonade, one thing is for sure. It will be sweet.